Imagine what will happen when a hungry stray dog leads a kind-hearted woman to a storm drain every day. The astonishing discovery inside leaves everyone shocked and leads to a heartwarming journey of love and compassion. An unexpected bond. This dog looked into a storm drain every day, and when it was finally opened, people were shocked to see what was inside. In many countries, stray dogs are a common occurrence, but it was one dog in particular that fascinated people with his actions. In Turkey, a shaggy and dirty stray pup roamed the streets, searching for food and water. Despite his circumstances, the dog was friendly and loved receiving pets from passers-by. A chance encounter. One day, while wandering down a street, the dog caught a whiff of something delicious. He followed the scent and found himself standing in front of a butcher's shop. Through the window, he watched as customers bought large cuts of meat. His hungry stomach growled and he longed for a taste. Annie, a young woman, had just finished purchasing a couple of large steaks. She noticed the hungry stray dog and empathized with his plight. Determined to help, she returned to the butcher and asked for any cut-offs or bones that were not being sold. The butcher happily obliged, and Annie set out to find the dog. Trust and curiosity. Annie located the stray dog and crouched down, offering him the bone. At first, the dog was cautious, but gradually he began to trust Annie. He wagged his tail and accepted the bone. Surprisingly, instead of devouring it on the spot, the dog picked it up and walked away, as if he had somewhere important to be. Annie, confused but respecting the dog's behavior, went on with her day. The following day, Annie encountered the stray dog again. Delighted by his enthusiasm, she showered him with affection and bought him sausages. Once again, the dog did not eat them immediately but walked away with the food. Intrigued by his actions, Annie decided to follow him on the third day. She discovered that the dog led her to a busy street and sat beside a storm drain. He dropped one of the treats Annie had given him into the drain before eating his own. This puzzling behavior repeated over the next few days, deepening Annie's curiosity. The astonishing discovery. Annie couldn't contain her curiosity any longer, so she approached the storm drain with a protective stray dog by her side. As she looked into the drain, she was shocked by what she saw. Without hesitation, she grabbed her phone and called the fire department for help. About 30 minutes later, a couple of firefighters arrived and asked Annie what was wrong. She explained what she had seen, and the men quickly went to work. As they approached the storm drain, the stray dog started growling at them, causing the firefighters to stop, unsure of what to do. Fortunately, Annie knew what to do. She walked up to the dog, assuring him that the firefighters were there to help. She offered the dog a treat, and when he approached her, she held on to him to keep him away from the drain. With the stray dog out of the way, the firefighters were able to open the storm drain. By this time, a crowd had gathered around the firefighters since the drain was on a busy street. After a few tense moments, the firefighters finally revealed what had captured the stray dog's attention. In one of the firefighters' arms was a tiny kitten. The bystanders were shocked, but the surprises didn't end there. The firefighters went back into the storm drain 4 more times, each time emerging with another kitten. Annie couldn't believe her eyes. She had seen something in the drain, but she had no idea there were 5 adorable kittens trapped inside. The stray dog managed to escape from Annie's grip and happily bounded over to the firefighters. He wagged his tail and sniffed at the kittens while they meowed back at him. Annie approached the firefighters and asked how the kittens ended up in such a predicament. The firefighters explained that the kittens were likely swept into the drain during a heavy rain. Despite being trapped, they hadn't starved because the stray dog had been sharing his food with them every day. Annie was moved by this act of kindness and knew what she wanted to do next. She told the firefighters that she would take the kittens home and raise them until they were ready to find new homes. The firefighters agreed and gave the kittens to Annie. As she made her way back home, she called out to the stray dog named Benny, inviting him to come along. Benny happily joined Annie, and together they took care of the kittens. Annie found loving homes for 4 of the kittens when they were old enough, but she decided to keep one for herself. She had grown to love them deeply, just as they loved her and Benny. The family lived happily together, and Annie made sure that neither Fudge, the cat, nor Benny would ever end up on the streets again. She cherished them too much, and they returned her love wholeheartedly. That's all for this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends.